a tide beneath the tides no living chart has known, a black sea under all the world where drowned souls drift alone. No moon rides there, no harbor shines, no gulls above it cry, for that dark deep is older far than stars within the sky. The old shipmen of Galilee spoke low beside the flame of dead men hauled beneath those waves who never rose again. The priest would whisper fearful words of judgment, chain and flame. Widows crossed their weathered hands at mention of the name. But Christ, the Lord of wind and foam, he heard the tales men told, and something fierce burned in his eyes like banked and hidden gold. No grave shall keep what God has made, no darkness bar the door. Then silent fell the harbor men like surf before the shore. They nailed him high at Golgotha as dusk consumed the land. The storm clouds rolled like battle smoke above the blood-soaked sand. The sea far off began to groan, the temple stones were torn, and all the world seemed holding breath for something yet unborn. Then Christ bowed low his battered head, the daylight failed in red, and every sailor watching there believed the Lord was dead. But deeper still beneath the earth the black tide stirred awake, as if the roots of death itself began at last to shake. Down through the dark went Nazareth, where no sun's fire had shone, past drowned kings chained in ancient gloom upon their lightless thrones. The dead seas rolled around his feet, cold shades fled at his tread. For something greater walked the deep than all the gathered dead. The wardens of the abyss arose like breakers forged from night, with iron crowns and eyeless jaws and spears of frozen light. But Christ strode on through hell's black surf without a sword or shield, and every gate before his hand split wide and crashed to field. Then Adam rose from drowned out years, and David from the foam. The prophets long beneath the deep he called by name to home. The lost men gathered round his wake like sailors storm-tossed worn, while chains fell shattered from their limbs like ropes by tempest torn. And death itself came towering up from caverns under sea, a thing with tides at its mouth and eyes like misery. It roared, all flesh belongs to me, all kings and beggars drown. But Christ stood hard against the dark and said, your reign is done. Then through the abyss the thunder rolled, the dead tide split apart. The foundations of the underworld cracked deep from core to heart, and Christ dragged forth the captive souls through ruin, flame and spray, like some great captain towing ships out from a wrecking bay. At dawn the stone was hurled aside, the grave lay split and bare, and fishermen beside the coast felt strange new life in air. The gulls wheeled wide above the surf, the eastern sky burned gold, For death had met a stronger tide than all its ancient hold. So when black waters pull you down and every light has died, remember Christ has walked before the deepest, darkest tide. No abyss can keep the souls he claims, no grave their keel can bind. For still he storms the gates of death with all lost men behind.